Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Plots in Darkenhaven. This is our Gen Con episode, so it is pre-recorded. So the weird thing about this episode is it is actually being recorded before we even launch Plots in Darkenhaven. So we're guessing at the continuity. We'll figure that out, and then I'll have to, as we run games later, we'll have to make sure that it matches up with this episode, which is actually the first one we're recording. And we have our guest, James, who is going to be playing Valinry. And what we're going to do real quick, since this is an episodic show and characters are going to come and go on this episodic show, what we want to do is give everybody a chance to talk a little bit about their character. Now, we don't want to spend the first 30 minutes talking about characters, so I have a formula here. It's going to be basically the is a with who, is a with who, meaning that I'll give you an example. Joss Quickenfinger is a halfling carpenter with a newborn baby who lives across the street from the custodians of the condemned. So that's all we really want to do. We'll go around, give me a is a with who statement about your character so that we can get on with this. All right, so we're going to actually wait for James to be last. So Matt, go ahead.
I'm playing Sigismund, who is a paladin with a dead friend who is a magistrate and has given him a quest to help run this place and find some people.
All right, Tim.
I play Iza Morai, a creepy pawn shop owner, basically a cross between Ratcliffe from Rocky Horror Picture Show and the Shame Wizard from Big Mouth.
All right, Alan.
I play in Salvanor Annalisa, who is quite a prodigy in his field and is an Etherean mage of sorts, here to continue solving any cases that come about as part of a promise to a magistrate.
And last but not least, James.
I am playing Valinry of the Night Shadow, who is a Skundruz Flowlock Fusilier, specifically a Pistolier, up here. Valinry is... He's got a bit of a checkered past and a checkered present. And this is part of his less checkered present in that he has a mission for an object that he's trying to find. And he may or may not be a hired gun in his other life.
All right, so we're going to start here with Valinry, who has just got off a ship in the Gloomport, which is the port beneath Darkenhaven. And you kind of know that this object that you're looking for, you've heard rumors as you've traveled that it might be in Darkenhaven. Your memories aren't really there. You know of this object, but your memories of previous life, and we'll get into how Skundruz have previous lives and stuff as we go through this. That'll, don't want to spoil it for now. But you have this, you know that it's probably in Darkenhaven. Now, a sailor on the ship told you when you get to Darkenhaven, you might find this condemned building that is next to Flax and Wagon Alley. And when you get to that building, there are some people there that might be able to help you. They kind of help people out and help people solve problems in Darkenhaven. And so you think, well, I don't have any other leads. And you make your way to the part of the city known as Beugerton. And it is a smellier part of the city, a more not as wealthy part of the city. And you find this building, and sure enough, it has a sign on it that says condemned. But you see a lantern in the window, and you know that there are people in there. So we'll start from there. What do you do?
I'm going to walk up to the door Let's give it a quick knock.
All right, Sigismund and Savinor, you're inside the living room, just kind of having a chat or reading or whatever you do in the living room of the condemned building, and you hear a knock at the door.
In Savinor, wasn't that crazy what we did last week? My goodness, I surely hope we don't have to do that again. But there's someone knocking at the door. I will get it. Savinor, you stay seated. I've got this one.
All right. And I'll keep reading my book that's in front of my face.
He was just going to read his book anyway. I know he was. And I'll go over and open the door. Hello.
Good day. I'm told that you may be able to assist me.
We do that sort of thing. It kind of depends on what you've got going on, but we can do our best. Come on in and meet in Savinor, and we'll discuss this further, exactly what your needs are.
It's a bit run down, this place, isn't it?
It's run down, homey, you know. I mean, also, that's not a great way to start out the new business relationship.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. What seems to be your problem exactly? And his eyes never leave the book that he's looking at.
I am looking for... It's difficult to say. It is an object.
Right.
This is a little tricky. I do not recall much about it. And now that he's inside, away from the smell a bit, he's going to pull down his bandana, and you'll see quite an obviously Skundru's visage. There is an object that I recall from my past that I fear may be dangerous in the wrong hands. But is also something that I feel may be of benefit to me to own.
On seeing him pull down his mask there and seeing that he's a Skundru's, there's a small part of Sigismund that flashes back to his previous life, and his hand goes for his sword, but then he kind of like reaches down and starts like just absentmindedly rubbing the hem of his jacket and calms down. All right, so you have something that is dangerous if it got into the wrong hands. Let's start with introductions. How does that sound? Yes?
Yeah, I suppose it would be
All
necessary.
right. Well, I am Sigismund, and this is in Savinor, and we take care of problems if they are not on too grand of a scale. So what we need to figure out first in Savinor, I think this is usually our standard protocol, if the thing that you are missing goes into the wrong hands, will someone die? Will many someones die? Or will all someone's die?
Again,
Preferably not
I
the
am
old someones.
sorry that I am sorry that I cannot give you more information. As I say, my memories are fuzzy, to say the least.
All right, so
I am.
Oh, go ahead.
I am Valenry, by the way.
So
what do you know of Fusils?
That they're never mind. You notice that he's also carrying a Fusil, and you know that this is also what Stammond uses quite frequently. Of course, Stammond is not here right now, but you do recognize this, and you have seen Fusils being used, and you know that they are magically imbued weapons that shoot rays of stuff and do destructive things. So you do know that.
Trouble is what I know of them. In Savinor, how about yourself?
Well, actually, we know quite a bit about Fusils and the magic they carry and the power they wield. But what I would like to know is, and he looks up and finally sees who he's talking to, and he adjusts his glasses. Well, aren't you rather interesting?
Please don't study our clients again in Savinor. This is not the time.
But if you do not study, how will you learn, Sigismund?
Because it's rude. Like,
I mean,
I
who
understand
deems it as rude?
desire. There are not many of us around.
Like,
Is it
However,
rude or just educational?
it's a bit rude.
I do agree that it is rude, however.
Yeah. Let's maybe after we get to know each other, we do a little bit of a favor for him. Then you can ask some questions, but maybe not as soon as we meet them. Maybe your scientific inquiries we start making after the mission. Yes.
Perhaps
Well,
as a part of payment for your services.
Possibly. I probably can do that. But here's the thing about the thing that we're about to get into. So you said you lost it. Don't know where it is. Don't exactly know what it is, and the details are quite vague, I would say.
Yes.
Indeed. If you are familiar with fusils, you will likely know that at the heart of each is what is known as a core, a flowstone core. This is the store of magic, I suppose, that powers them. There is a core that has been difficult to find detail on, yet I know that I have encountered it before. I believe it is referenced as something called the Sanguine Touch. Now, for a core of one of these weapons to have borne a name is interesting in its own right.
That name mean anything to?
I don't think either of you have heard of this, but you do think that there might be somebody, a dealer in these antiquities, that might know more about some Fusil core or an ancient Fusil stored somewhere that might hold this core called the Sanguine Touch.
So, I mean, we could always go ask Tim. No, that's not the name I needed. That's his real name. You can always go ask Etza. Etza knows about. Etza knows about the guns, the fusils, more than we do. I mean, in Savanor, you tend to study magic without flowstone cores, and I don't really like magic that much. So, maybe we go ask him.
Are you saying that we're to seek the services of?
He's a purveyor of goods of questionable origin.
He's a purveyor of pilferings. All he does is steal objects. I do not trust him or his kind.
I understand in Savanor, but it sounds like maybe this object has been stolen or lost, and who else would know better where it might be than someone who deals in that sort of thing?
So you're saying we should go see the thief because that is probably who has it?
I'm saying, do you have a better option?
Unfortunately, at the moment, I do not have a better option. So, and it's Morai, or Moron, as I should call him. I suppose we'll have to sully the rest of our day with his presence.
Well, then we're in agreement. I hope that is okay with you, that we involve someone else. But at this point, the locating of said artifact will require that we branch out for some new sources of information, since there seems to be little.
Understand this, yes.
Okay.
Might I inquire as to recompense for your services?
4 million gold.
I think you may be joking with me there.
I actually believe he's quite accurate. 4 million gold seems
4
to be
million
the proper,
gold seems fair.
Proper payment
For the Sanguine Touch. It's a special rate. No, I don't know. I tell you what, the way we usually do these things is we give you a hand, and then we kind of have to figure expenses and how many people we have to deal with. It kind of depends on exactly what the adventure entails in the assignment. I would hate to tell you it would be 1,000 gold, and then we get there and he's just got it in the back of his shop.
That is a pragmatic approach. I appreciate that entirely.
Does that sound fair to you in Savanor?
I mean, possibly, if I have to go according to these rules, I suppose it would be fine. I am losing most of my day with reading, and I have to deal with Etza.
I tell you what, in Savanor, if it will make you feel better, you can make a spreadsheet of our adventure, of our costs, and like, I know you like that kind of thing. Would that make it better? If you can draw a little graph and
Actually, that would make it better. I will
yeah,
make a
see,
chart and a graph, and
everybody
as well as a
wins.
spreadsheet on this.
Yes.
I will get to it right away.
I am curious. What is this spreadsheet you speak of? Why would you spread a sheet?
Well, it's a type of graph. It's a type of documency that he practices, where he makes a bunch of numbers and pictures that represent data, and then he tries to explain them to me, and I don't get it, but it makes him feel better.
It is part of my own filing
Eh.
system. You see, I've quite invented it, and it's quite efficient, actually. Once we
I feel
have
like
this
his
all finished-
explanations probably make as much sense as yours does to me right now.
You have told us that you have lost a thing, that you don't know where it is, you don't know what
Yes.
it does. So maybe bear with us a little bit on the finer points of how we work.
I do not doubt that it is efficient for you.
We'll all
I'm
get
just
there.
curious to see it in action.
All right. Let's go see it. Yes.
Yes,
All right,
let's
so
go see it.
You all make your way to Giddings Way and go to Grindel's pawn shop, where Etza is has found his way to be part owner. You don't know what he has over Grindel, but he's somehow become very involved in this business. So let me get the three of you put on the map here. Oh, nope, that's two Sigismunds.
It's two Sigismunds.
we need a Valenry in there. All right, there we go. So you show up to Grindel's pawn shop, and of course make your way inside.
We're not.
And it
currently
is
seeing that on
late.
our
It is late
screens.
afternoon at this point.
Yeah, Corey, you got to move us as players there as well. to
Oh,
that.
how do I do that?
Uh,
Activate.
Yes,
There we go. Yeah.
Activate. There we go.
Activate.
Getting used to Forge. This is only the 5th time I've used it.
Yes.
Okay, it's the first time I've used it, but it's episode 5. So chronologically, for those viewing, it'll be the 5th time I've used it. All right. So you show up at Grindel's pawn shop, and you see Etza kind of thumbing through some stuff on a shelf, and you see Grindel as you come in, and he looks at you. He looks over at Etza. You can see the resolve in his face that, okay, well, you're not here to buy anything, and that you're probably going to be talking to Etza. So he kind of just makes his way over and starts, he doesn't even greet you. He just kind of walks over and starts grumbling.
Actually, Corey, I am going to just like grab some little knickknack, something that's kind of cool and shiny, and leave a couple of coins on the counter, just so that we're not rude and we do a little business with him. Probably make him tolerate us a little better.
All right. Grindel walks back over and he's smiling and he says, "Oh, this is much too much. This is much too much." Here, and he tries to give you half of it back.
Oh, thank you. No, Grindel, you keep it. We appreciate you letting us talk to Etza when we need to, and the use of your facility. So just keep it as a thank you.
Oh, okay. Well, don't smash that. That's not.
I won't. What is it, by the way? I just like it because it's cool.
It looks like a little ornament that you might hang from something, and it has like a little teardrop shape.
Yes.
And as you shake it, there might be something inside, some kind of liquid inside.
Ooh. All right. Well, I'll examine that later when we're not busy. I'll just kind of safely tuck it in a safe pocket.
All right.
All right. Good morning, Etza. How are you?
Hello. How are you, gentlemen, this afternoon?
We were better before entering your presence, but seeing as how this is where our day leads us, Sigismund.
Sorry about that, Etza. He's just a little grumpy.
Uh,
but he's making a spreadsheet. He'll feel better soon.
Yes, you will not be involved in my spreadsheet, Etza, just in case you were wondering.
Etza has a creepy smile on his face.
But we came looking for some information. It's on a rare artifact that has gone missing. Perhaps you could
Oh.
explain, and I'll gesture to our new friend.
Greetings, is it Etsa?
Yes, it's samurai at your
Samurai.
service.
I understand that these gentlemen have had dealings with you, and that you
Yes,
may be of assistance. Are you familiar with Fusils?
certainly. I'm I artificer of some repute. And my speciality, you could say, is various forms of firearms and different objects therein.
Intriguing. I'm going to pull mine out just lightly, sort of hold it out in my hands.
Ooh,
You know that there is a fusel core in the core of each weapon.
of course.
He seems sort of reluctant to mention it, but in one of my previous lives, I came across, I believe, I am unsure if it is a fusel or a core itself. Um, all I really know is that it was something called the Sanguine Touch.
You see a slight glint in his eyes as you mentioned that.
You recognize this?
I do. I do. In fact, I
Who's the
hold some
best?
interest in that particular fusel core. And he
Oh,
goes
this is the
into a
best lead I have had
diatribe.
in years.
He goes into
Um,
like history of fusel cores and all sorts of shenanigans and silliness that doesn't really relate to your particular situation at that time.
this is all very interesting. I'm afraid I
Oh,
am
for the
more
love
of a.
of a Volvo. What exact? How much will this cost?
Sigismund will elbow elbow Enzenor in the ribs when he starts
Mhm.
being rude. Yes,
I
this is a
am
fascinating lecture. Thank you.
definitely more of a user of these items than purveyor of them.
Understandable, yes, yes, yes.
So what is your interest in this particular core or fusel? I confess I do not know much about it. My memories of the item are fuzzy, to say the least.
I enjoy the art of exploration and invention, and it just appeals to me
Very well.
as he steeples his fingers in a creepy way.
Would you have any inkling as to where one might search for one of these? Specifically, the Sanguine Touch. The only lead I have uncovered thus far is that it may be in or around Darkenhaven or the Republic.
At that time, Issa looks around and sees that his partner is still in the vicinity and waves for you gentlemen to join him in another room. How about you join me in this other room and we could discuss things further?
Absolutely.
Very well.
Which room would you like us to go to?
So basically, you guys go on the other side of the books, and yep, there we go. And Grindel will go back and start, sorting through one of the shelves.
I have learned in my dealings in this area of a very ancient fusel that is on display in the Papa's Gallery, in the Museum of Gran. It is said to be very, very old. And though they do not know exactly the time in which it's located, as well as the origins of it, it is what I believe you may be seeking.
As I say, that is a greater lead than I have encountered in the last years. Perhaps it may be worth visiting. You say it's in a gallery? Is this open to all, or?
Yes, I believe. Though of course you wouldn't go during normal business hours, especially if you're seeking to procure this
I
item.
understand. However, equally, might it be worth at least checking if it is what I seek?
Oh,
I
certainly.
suspect if I see it, it may. Well, I hope that it might assist with some
Certainly.
memories.
And if need be, I can assist you with, the procurement and transportation of said item. For a nominal fee, of course.
Here we go.
What sort of fee would you be looking at?
Nothing too extravagant, of course. Simply the standard fee for an importer-exporter.
Oh, Inzanor, add it to the spreadsheet.
Which would
Yes, I will
be
add this fee to the spreadsheet.
I would say a percentage of its cost or its value to you.
would be great indeed. Let us perhaps see if it is the item we seek first.
Indeed, indeed.
I know where that place is, if you want me to lead. I have a friend that works there.
That would be good.
Sure.
You're familiar with
Perhaps.
someone that's inside of the museum.
Oh, yes.
Sigismund?
Yes, my friend Tonya.
Really?
Yes. Yeah,
And
I brought her to the house literally dozens of times. You know, Thonia, you should take more of an interest in the people coming to our home.
Oh, I
Incident.
take more interest in problems that I can solve and less time in spending with individuals such as this over here. And
She
points at Etzel.
literally works at the museum. I've said Inzanor. She knows about weird stuff like you like before, and you just kind of at us. Maybe in
Were
the
you
future.
saying that?
Well, yes. But you don't listen to me a lot of times. But let's just go and I'll introduce you to Tonya later, okay?
All right, fine.
All right.
As he's
All right, so
just
you-
cleaning his nails.
Are you going with them, Etza?
Sure.
All right.
I'll join them.
I think that we should take it. Edson knows about getting stuff that's not his.
Are
A
you
recce
kidding
of the
me?
place would be useful too, from
This is true.
professionals.
It feels like a four-man
Wait.
job.
So you make your way to the Pauper's Gallery, and it is open, and there is an old dwarven lady who's kind of just wandering around, dusting things off, and then she sees you, Sigismund, and says, "Oh, Sigismund, it is nice to meet you again. What brings you to the Pauper's Gallery?"
I'll go over and give her like a little hug and be like, "Good morning, Tonya. How are you today?"
I am good. I am good.
Good. We are here to actually take a look at just a few things around, and we've heard some rumors of some interesting artifacts here, and we just want to take a look.
She goes, "Oh, of course, I take an interest in our history." And then she looks over and sees Etza and
Gives
some
her
of
a
our
big, wide, fake smile. Hello.
and she gives Etza this kind of smirk, this knowing smirk. Valenry, give me a wisdom save, please.
Valenry?
Valenry?
Me.
Yes.
Yeah, that's you.
That's me.
You're Valenry.
All right.
Welcome
Right.
to your new made-up name.
I made this character honest. Wisdom save. That is a massive 5.
All right.
Okay, way to start.
There's something odd about this dwarf, lady. She gives Etza this knowing smirk, and it makes you feel weird. I don't know another way to say it, but nobody else has this feeling. Just Valinri. Well, what is it that I can help assist you with? Are you here looking for something specific?
Yes, I think there's a new Fusil core that is here. My friend here is a Fusilier, and he is always interested in seeing.
Oh,
It is good to study these weapons, to have a look at how they have been constructed over the years. And
I see. Yes. Well, come this way. I think it is called this. And she takes you over, and there's a fusil that's kind of broken in half, and you can see that the fusil core is still in there. It looks completely inactive. And she says, "This is a fusil that was once known as the Hammer of Light is the name of this fusil, but once we found out that the Sanguine Touch was inside it, that's what made it even more valuable." So, and then when you hear the words, the Hammer of Light, give me a wisdom save, Valinri.
me again, yeah.
Yep.
Where is it gone? Wisdom save. That will be 14.
14. Okay, there is something familiar about that name. You're like, there's something really familiar to you about the Hammer of Light. Otherwise, you're starting to just get this weird, almost like a
Deja vu type.
Deja vu feeling. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So and it is what you've been seeking. Mm-hmm. So, and she goes, "There's not much else I can tell you about it."
It's a shame. I was about to ask. It's not a weapon that I'm familiar with. It's a shame. Would there be anyone that would know more about it?
Not anymore. And she looks very sad.
I understand.
I'm sorry. What's wrong, Tonya? Was it someone you knew who passed away?
Yes, somebody very dear to my heart. But let us how about this? And she goes walking off, like, to show you a mask. She's like, "This mask is very interesting," and she comes over and points to a different, like, you can tell that she just does not want to talk about that fusil or the person that she once knew who might know something about it.
My goodness, Tonya, that is a very impressive looking set of keys that you carry on your belt there.
Yes, I have many keys to many museums in the God's Ward. I'm caretaker of many of the God's Ward's things here.
Oh, which one opens this museum?
And she, like, this one. What? Why do you ask?
Because you know that I've always been fascinated by keys. The craftsmanship in this one is very impressive.
I'm gonna make a sort of mental note of what the key looks like.
All right. Well, enjoy yourselves, and you notice that you're like, there's only two other people in this whole museum other than her and you guys, and they are both the other people are probably scholars of some sort. That this museum is not really frequented by the masses. It's frequented more by scholars and people like that. So whereas the other museums in the God's Ward are, the museums that the highbrow folks go to because there are, big skeletons of ancient beasts that we haven't seen on the world for a while and things like that.
As Sonia is sort of distracted with Sigismund. I'm going to attempt to pick the key off her keyring.
All right.
Now, how big is the key exactly?
It's about that big. It's not a very big key.
Okay.
It's, about 2.5, 3 inches.
Sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand.
Can I attempt to
Try
aid
different
in
dice.
distracting her a little
Yeah,
bit more?
go. Yeah, if you notice that this, and you're kind of setting him up for this anyway. So go ahead and take advantage.
Okay.
I'm like, oh yes, that is a
Oh,
very
that's
beautiful
more like
mask.
it. That will be a 19.
All right, you are able to basically slip the key off of the leather strap, retie the strap, and all while she's talking to Sigismund.
Okay. I'll sort of give just a slight tilt of the head to everyone to indicate that we should probably make a move.
Okay, well, gotta go. Thanks for everything. Bye, Sonia.
Goodbye.
As
Bye.
we go, if anyone is paying attention to me, you'd see my eyes go grey rather than blue. And I'm going to attempt to use Grey Mother's amnesia on Tonia to make her lose the last 10 minutes of her short-term memory.
All right, let me roll that, and that's a wisdom save, correct?
It is a wisdom, I believe. Yep.
Well, no matter what kind of save it is, I've got a 4 on the die, which is probably not enough.
It's 10 plus proficiency bonus. We are level 3, aren't we? So 12 target.
All right. So so she did not make it, and as you guys walk out and you flash your gray eyes and use the power of the Skundrews over her, what was I doing? What? Excuse me, can I help you? And she goes to talk to the other people in the
She
museum.
seems to be getting on in years. She seems rather forgetful.
You guys also notice that Itza is creepily caressing the glass of where the Fusil is, staring at it. And then he joins you, of course.
All right. So then you guys are, I suppose, going to go back this evening after opening hours and go back into the Pauper's Gallery, correct?
Yes.
All right. So
My
you
intention.
have a key, so that should be easy. You're and the God's Ward itself is not like patrolled heavily. There are paladins of different faiths that might be walking around, but the God's Ward is also open in the evenings because there are many people seeking out different temples and different shrines after they've done their hard days of work to do whatever offerings that they want to do. So it wouldn't be odd for you guys to be walking around in the evening after the museum. You just have to pick a time to kind of go in. And we are back from our break. We have just pilfered a key from Thonia, who takes care of dusting and opening the Pauper's Alley. Which before we get started, the reason I chose Pauper's Alley is because it was a submission by James. So tell us a little bit about your ideas for Pauper's Alley before we jump back into
Pauper's Gallery. So
Pauper's Gallery. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. So this was one of the locations that we created for Godswood. And I have to say, you almost got a mouse drop when you mentioned it. So it's in Darkenhaven. There are museums, particularly over on the sort of the governmental island, that are quite restrictive as to they're there for the scholars, they're there for the well-to-do of the city to go and see. And the Paupers Gallery is sort of it's almost a here you go to the rest of the city to say things that have been on display in the museums for a while or don't have much interest. We're just going to display these over here so that we can feel like we're doing something good for the masses, and give them somewhere to go and learn about the history in maybe a slightly curated manner. So not a case of we're only telling you certain things, but we're maybe not telling you some things. So it's either a very low cost or free entry, depending on how you want to run it in your own game. For probably not that very well frequented, but you can run it how you want. Artifacts that you're looking for, clues in artwork, whatever you want to use it for, is the intent there. So.
All right. Well, yeah. I as we get guests on, if I know that they are contributors to the world, I'm going to do my very best to put some of their contributions into our games. So we've just pilfered a key. What do we do next?
Would it be possible to create some sort of replica? I feel bad about taking something of this historical value from, a museum of all places. At least let's give them something to look at. Did you mention you were
quite
an
easy
artificer?
Oh yes, it's quite easy to do
We
that.
in Savanor we'll take care of that. In Savanor, add it to the spreadsheet.
I'm marking this down.
As I'm sort of going to hover over while they're sort of making a replica, with an intent that sort of I might not necessarily remember what it looks like, but there might be things I go, that doesn't look right. And obviously after my comment in the Paupers Gallery as well, I'll mention to these guys that the name of that weapon,
And I'm going to keep. Go ahead.
It felt familiar somehow.
As they're making that key, I'm going to keep putting myself between Etza and the key as much as I can. Etza, so tell me about the latest thing that you've pilfered, and I'm like just trying to like lure him into giving rants on like Fusils and stuff like he was doing earlier, just trying to get him to go on one of those so that in Savanor can get it done.
Oh yes, there were these individuals who were seeking to arm a separatist militia on the coast of, and he just rants about basically supplying a guerrilla force.
Sure, absolutely. And what does a guerrilla force mean? Just like kind of that kind of conversation, just like
the whole time in Salvador just rolling his eyes as he's trying to use prestidigitation to make this key. I can't believe this guy is saying this nonsense.
Especially because like he's Sigismund is a former like high-ranking military commander. He knows all of the things that he's being told. He's just like luring them out.
Nope.
Which,
the
funny thing is
basically just telling people stuff. He doesn't care. He's
Yeah.
already got their money.
the funniest part of this is that I think episodes 3 and 4 are about the rebellion group called the what is it? The Hindrance, right? So
Yeah.
Spies of the Hindrance, I think, was last week. So that's interesting.
Sure, I don't know about the Hindrance. Who are they again?
All right, so back on track here. So you in Savanor, you have finished using magic to create a copy of this key. And now you have 2 keys.
I'm gonna hand the other key to Sigismund.
Okay.
I trust you with this.
Yes, I will go give this back to Thonia. You guys wait here, and then I'll just walk in and walk up like, I don't know, 2 or 3 feet behind Thonia, and then just drop it. And oh, Thonia, it's so lucky that I happen to be here. Look what you've dropped. And I'll like tap her on the shoulder and
All
offer
right,
it to her.
give me a deception roll.
16.
All right. Oh, how did that slip off my? Oh, thank you very much. Oh, it's been so long. I haven't seen you in
It
such
has
a long
been
time.
A long time, Tonia. And I'm so glad that I got to see you again today. But I am very busy. I just came in to look at that cool mask over there. And now I'm going to be on my way. But maybe we'll have you over for tea again sometime and we can try to get in Savanor to talk to you again.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I will see you later. Bye.
Bye. All right. Later that evening, unless you guys have something else that you want to do between now and when you break in.
The only thing I would have mentioned is if there's any gear that we would be of use.
And Izza would, of course, assist with arming and gearing us for the break-in at a nominal fee, of course.
I think somebody needs to unlearn the nominal word.
Yes. Let's see. In Savanor, please just don't let him see the key if at all possible. I don't trust him and I don't want him to hurt Tonia, you know? So let's try to keep Insa from seeing the key. I just don't quite trust him, you know? He's a good guy, but
He's a good guy. Did you say good? And his name in the same sentence?
well, yeah, I mean, maybe he's a little shady, but I mean, who isn't, right?
A little shady. On the clearest sunny day, he is the largest tree you can possibly find.
Listen, in a forest full of trees that is Buggerton of shadiness, he is one of the least shady people here. So maybe we keep him on side a little bit, yeah?
You
I'll
guys turn
follow
around
your
and you
lead for
see Izza
now.
is right behind you.
Oh, hello there, Itza. How are you today?
Hello. Yes, it's true. I am quite shady.
Yes, but like I said, a lot less shady than most of the people in Buggerton.
Exactly.
Yes.
Savanor just looks him up and down. Highly doubtful, actually.
Take pride in your work. If it
Oh,
is not
exactly.
honest work, it is still work that is necessary to somebody.
Exactly.
Okay, you made your way into the gallery, the Pauper's Gallery. And as you make your way in, you've waited till it was closed for a while, and she was, as you make your way in, you see a wait, come on, go down there. There we go. You see another Scundrews, and this is a Scundrews woman who is up on the DS. She's just walked in. She has two big baskets, and she sets them down. Oh, are they with you? She says to Valinri.
They are, yes. Am I saying quite
well,
as to who you are?
Good. Well, we will be set up in just a few moments. Is it your wife? Is she coming soon? And which of these is the gift? Or are you having triplets? Oh my!
Not entirely certain what's going on. Could I sort of call on my knowledge of sort of the Scundrews? Because I feel like this is potentially a rebirth ceremony.
Yes.
To try and figure out sort of which sect of Scundrews this might be related to.
He says it's at present you don't know which sect it is, but yes, you are correct when you say that. When she says the gift, it does mean this is probably a rebirth ceremony.
Okay.
And she's got baskets of stuff, and she's chatting with you as she does, like puts salt on the floor and gets the herbs and the alchemical and narchemical stuff ready. and she's just kind of moving around and setting this up.
I confess that I am not the one I think that you think I am. We are merely here to support the ceremony.
Oh, well, are these others not the gift then? And as you say that, or as she says that, from behind a full painting, basically the painting moves aside, and through a basically a tunnel that comes up and out of this painting are 4 more women, and they are dragging a halfling who is unconscious.
Do we recognize who that is? Is this halfling?
Not. You do not.
But they don't seem to be having a good time, right?
No, they are unconscious, being dragged in by these other Scundrews, and that kind of gives you a clue as to which faction, because you don't think that this person is voluntary.
This is not the way that you gain a bountiful life. You should know this. It is far better when they are willing.
At this point, Sigismund's hand is fully on his sword.
All right. So and give me history checks, all of you who don't know about the Scundrews. And this one comes out as you say that and says, "Well, Malithuk's blessing is a blessing regardless."
Not if it is not a voluntary blessing. How would you like it if somebody came and decided that you were due a blessing that would end your life?
But our lives are eternal, my friend. By Malithuk, you should know this.
Not if they use the appropriate forms of magic.
So the one in the back here, she kind of circles around, and I'm going to give you guys, let me know your history checks first, and then we're probably going to go on a knit. This one down here, who circled around, is pregnant.
I rolled a 12.
12?
Yep.
Sorry, what check was that again?
History.
History. You don't need it because you already know about Scundrews.
Yeah. I've got
I'm paying attention, honest.
Like a 10 total.
10?
I got a 23.
All right. And Savanor,
Nice.
you know all of this. And then Etza knows a little bit of this, and Sigismund knows none of this.
I know propaganda.
Right. So what you know about these Scundrews is that they were a race created by the god Malithuk, but he was not given permission to make his own race of beings. So he basically crafted these gaunt skeletal, I mean, they're not skeletons, they have skin, but the skin is very tight, their lips are very, they don't really have much meat on them at all. It's just kind of like a skin tight over skeleton vessel for a spirit to enter. And the way that they reproduce is by these ceremonies where they take a spirit from someone else, sometimes voluntary, sometimes not. In this case, it looks like this halfling woman is not voluntary, and they do this ritual and put that spirit into as the birth of a new Scundrews comes about. That's what you know. I guess Etza, you would know that they are shells of people whose spirits you don't know as much about, like how it happens, but you figure you're about to find out. Yeah, Sigismund, you don't really know anything at this point. And with that, the pregnant woman says, "They're not supposed to be here," and initiative.
Oh boy.
As she pulls a wand from her waist.
Oh, that's not good.
Are we supposed to be able to see the map?
Oh, did I not hit activate?
Yeah, I can't see the map.
You did,
no,
but
we're
it's
on the
really,
map,
it's
but
dark.
it's black.
It's
Yeah.
dark. Okay, please hold. I don't know where are settings for this map. Configure.
You've got it set to GM only, I think, right?
How about now?
Yes.
Yes, there we go.
Okay, sorry. So now you know. Now you can see it. This is the lady that you've been talking to right here that I've moved around. The halfling is here, and there are 3 other female Skundrews holding, carrying her. She's starting to stir a little bit, and then this one down here at the far bottom of the map is the one who is very pregnant and pulled a wand and said, not supposed to be here. With that, the way we do initiative is we do it the GUI cube way, meaning that we roll every round. I will start counting 20 or better and count down the init track. When it's your turn, just say, okay, I've got that. So 20 or better. Anybody better than a 20?
Yeah, 21.
21 and Savanor, you go first.
Hooray. And Savanor just looks around. Oh, here we go. And he puts his hands together. Leanne, please hear my request. And then he spreads his hands out, and his white energy flows from him to Sigismund and Valenry. And as he casts Bless.
You don't get the bless, Etza.
As expected.
As expected.
Get nerd.
All right. That was 20 or better. Did you also want to move?
I just want to move slightly this way.
All right. And then 19, 18, 17.
I got 18.
18. Go ahead.
You will unhand her now. And I'll unsheath my sword and pull the shield from my back. And I look in the mirror, but this time everything seems totally fine in the mirror of my shield. And I will charge over here and attack.
All right.
18 plus some amount.
18 is enough.
Okay. And then we are dealing new character. Sorry. It's going to be 10 points of damage.
All right. So this one staggers back and falls to the ground with a big cut through them. I'll actually. They are not dead. They're bleeding out, but I'll take them off the map anyways for confusion's sake. All right. That was an 18, 17, 16, 15.
Sorry, I had 18.
Oh, 18. Go ahead.
So first things first, I'm going to glance to Etza and Savanor and just say, keep the pregnant one and the one on the stairs apart. I'm going to move here, pulling out my Fusil in my dominant hand and a dagger that I don't think anyone had noticed in my other hand. And possibly a little surprisingly, literally just charge straight into close combat, slash across with a dagger and come in sort of under the ribs with a shot from the Fusil. Which within the thick means I don't have disadvantage using a flowlock core weapon in melee. So we'll go for the melee attack first. Ugh. So that was a 9 on the dagger.
That's a miss.
Yep. And that will be 6 That's more of a dexterous one, isn't it? Let's go with that. 23.
23 is
Fusil.
definitely a hit with the Fusil.
Sorry. Yep, so that's if I'm not moving. Cool. So that is 1d6 plus 2. That'll be 3 points of damage.
All right.
Piercing.
Every little helps.
Indeed.
You shoot the Fusil up towards her abdomen, and she screams, my baby, and goes to the side, so it kind of glances up her shoulder instead of going center mass. And then that was the other 18. So 17, 16, 15, 14. Okay, 14 is the cultist. So she's readied the wand. She's going to point it a little past you. And she says the magical command word, and we will see what happens here.
She got a wand of wonder?
No.
About to find out.
All right. So starting, actually, let me know, Valenry and Savinor, how many hit points do each of you have?
Valenry has 28.
12.
Okay. And Savinor goes to sleep.
Hooray.
Oh
And
no.
Valenry is unaffected by the rest of those that sleep spell. These two drop the halfling. This one moves up to attack Sigismund. A 16 to hit. No, does not hit.
I have
And
a
then
19 AC.
Woohoo! And then this one just steps to the side, dropping the halfling, and gulps a potion, and then says to Sigismund, drop your weapon. Wisdom save.
It's going to be a fail.
All right, then you just been commanded to drop your weapon.
I dropped my weapon.
All right, and then the last one, seeing the mother in danger, moves to here and throws a dagger at Valenry. A 19.
That will be a hit.
3 points.
Down to 25.
All right. And that is all of them. So that was 14, 13. Who's left? A sleeping person. Go ahead.
You see Itza shifts like closer and closer to the basically where the Fusil core was that was on display.
Okay, that's actually way up here. I don't know if you can see where I'm pointing.
So yeah, he's gonna move his maximum distance, keeping everybody within his view, but not getting fully to there. He's still seeing how things are playing out.
So probably about to here, and that's where you can still see most everybody.
Yes, and he will be waiting to see what happens.
All right, initiative again. Nobody took time to wake up in Savinor.
It was after my turn. There was nothing I could do.
Wake up
All right.
apply.
20 or better. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 16.
Go ahead.
All right. Go ahead.
I will basically hold my turn to see if any of the cultists head my direction.
All right.
And if they do, I will take an action. But until then,
All right. So you're if somebody threatens, comes up on you, you'll do something about it. All right. Sigismund.
Picking up my weapon is half my movement. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pick my weapon up and be like, that was a very good spell. Let me show you one. And I'll attack. And that is with bless as well. 13.
13 is a hit.
And we'll cast smite on that.
Okay.
So that's 10 radiant and 5 slashing.
All right. And that's the one you hit before, right?
Yes.
All right. So that one also falls down next to the other one that was just in that place, bleeding out and glowing a little bit from the radiant aura that smote them.
Smoted.
The halfling begins to wake up. Where am I?
Run.
Where am I? Oh. And she stands up and staggering a little bit, but then we'll keep going. That was 16s, 15s, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8,
10.
9.
10. All right. Who was the 10? That was Alan? Or,
Me still sleep.
Still sleeping. All right. 9. You can
Yep.
you can still take your action if you wake up this turn.
Okay. Seeing the reaction, because so from my last attack, it was just a natural across and under. But seeing how this Gundry's reacted to her pregnancy, I'm gonna try and be a bit more intelligent with the attacks and target them both at the belly.
Oof.
So the dagger will still be a dexterous attack. I will be using intelligence with my Fusil this time, though.
Okay.
So dagger first. That is a 21.
That hits.
That is 7 piercing.
Okay.
And then Fusil pistol. 10.
10 is a miss.
Yep.
But the 7 to the 7 aimed at the belly has lacerated her belly and she falls to the ground. She's not unconscious, but she is holding on to her belly and screaming, my baby, my child. And she's just screaming. And so you've effectively taken her out of the combat because she's so worried about the wound that you've just given her. And that was everyone except for sleeping Savanor.
Just sorry.
And then they are at a 3. So she's screaming. This lady pushes past you. Feel free to take an attack of opportunity if you want, but she is holding no weapons at this point. And she is running to the mother and is fumbling with her pouches to try and get some kind of healing salve or something, you presume.
Seeing that she's unarmed, I'm not going to take an attack of opportunity. But I will sort of try and put a hand on her shoulder and just say, you cannot save them now. In the future, do it the right way.
All right. Now initiative again at the bottom of the round. Give me a save from all this screaming in Savanor, because there's somebody screaming about their baby. This might wake you up.
What kind of save?
Wisdom save.
Wisdom save. That is a 13.
13. You are awake. You may take an action at the bottom of the round. Standing is half your move.
Okay, so I'm going to just stand up and kind of get my bearings and look around, and I see that the one has moved over here, and I will and conjure a glowing kind of greenish black fist and punch her in the stomach with a
The one up at the top or the one administering salve at the bottom?
administering salve at the bottom
Okay.
with a chill touch.
Okay.
That is a 16 to hit.
Okay.
7 points of necrotic damage
Okay.
and can't be healed any hit points for the till my next turn.
Oof.
All right. So that's a touch range spell. So you moved up.
No, it's 120 feet range.
Oh, okay. Got it. All right. So initiative. All right. Well, we're 20 or better.
20.
All right. You are first.
Woody as well.
All right. Then you'll go
you got
second.
20.
I'll go second.
I'll cast Sanctuary on the our halfling friend.
All right.
And then move into melee with the other. Drop your weapons.
All right.
It's over.
That was 20, other 20.
I will move as close as possible to Sigmund, pulling out a dagger to get ready.
Okay. So if you're going to use your whole move, you could probably get to about here.
Yep, that'll work.
Okay. 19, 18. All right, 18. The one that you have on your shoulder says, "You are wrong. There is a way. There is a way." And she starts chanting. Give me a history check. Nobody else would know what this chanting is, but you might be able to remember this from your time in Shard and Gloom.
History. That'll be a 10.
I think a 10 would be enough to understand because you are, yeah. You know that this is not a. You don't know exactly what it is. A higher roll would get you exactly what it is, but you know that this is not a. What she is chanting is not a spell. It is a prayer to Malithuk, and it is not dangerous to anyone.
Okay.
And she's chanting that. The other one is screaming about her baby, and the one up at the top says to you, "Grovel," and that same wash of magic comes over to you.
Okay.
Give me a wisdom save.
I failed. So I dropped to my knees.
And you start groveling. All right. And that was the other 18. The sanctuaried halfling reaches into her apron, pulls out a rolling pin, and starts smacking the Scundrews.
But why? This is very stupid. Stop.
How dare you try to take Cookie Nevermond, and Cookie is not going to be taken by the likes of bap, 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 and smacking the Scundrews. All right, that was 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9,
10.
8, 10. Okay.
Here we go.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm going to point my Fusil into the back of the Scundrews in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
Hold down the trigger to start charging a shot.
Okay.
And at the same time, I'm going to say, save the children, but this ceremony stops now. Find another way to birth them. And there'll be a slight whining coming from the core of the flowstone as it charges up a
Okay.
shot.
All right. Her chanting is now very fearful. But she still does. She's shaking her head yes, but she's chanting and afraid.
Yeah.
And that would, I think, just leave in Savinor left on the init.
Yep. The one that's chanting, I'm going to use that still glowing greenish black hand to come around and like kind of hit her in the throat. Cut
She'll
off her
touch to
air
the
and stop her
throat.
from talking.
Don't punch.
And that is a 21 to hit.
21 hits.
And that is perfect. 1 point of necrotic damage.
Her chanting is interrupted just for a brief second as like a cold mist comes out of her mouth, and she chokes a little bit, but keeps chanting. All right, and now it's initiative again. I'm actually going to roll a different one for Cookie. Okay.
My dice rolls have been on point.
All right. 20 or better.
Yep. 23.
23. Go ahead. At this point, she's got her hands up in the air. She's shaking her head. She's scared, just trying to chant to this prayer to Malathuk. She's terrified. The other lady's screaming.
Seeing that she seems to be getting the message, I'm gonna just swing my Fusil around, aim at this one up here.
Okay.
And let off a shot, which is the charge
All
shot
right.
with advantage. Well, that's not a crit fail. That's good. That will be a 15.
15 hits.
Okay. D6. 10 piercing.
The Fusil, the charged Fusil knocks her back against this over here. With all of the wallops she's been getting from Cookie, that's enough to take this one unconscious as it bounces off of the cabinet holding some artifacts and whatnot, and that one goes unconscious. That was a 23. Do you want to move as well, or are you just standing?
No, I'm going to return the pistol to the back of this one.
Okay.
And just call out to everyone to say, wait until she has saved the children. She cannot do the ceremony herself.
Okay, so that was 23. 20s, 19, 18, 17, 16. 17. Go ahead.
I will. So we're still in combat technically, right?
Yeah, you're still in combat technically, although there is no aggressors at this point. I just wanted to give you guys some kind of turn order. It's very tense situation.
I'd like to walk up to them now, to the Scunandrews that's injured. Can I get there in 30 feet? And then I will lay on hands on the Scunandrews' belly if she'll let me.
Okay.
And
so
I'll dump.
Give her a heal. Okay.
Yeah, I'll dump. I think I have 10 charges. I'll give her 5.
All right. And that was 17, 16, 15, 14.
Yep.
14. Go ahead.
I was 16.
Oh, 16. Go ahead.
Just for clarification, the one who was chanting was knocked out, correct? Or is she still chanting?
No, she's still chanting. Yep.
Okay.
The other one was knocked out. The one that was over by up in the top of the map by Cookie.
Okay. Cool. I will move close to the not right on top, but I'll move within, I guess, 60 feet of the one that's chanting. I will wait.
Okay. Oh, look at the puppy. All right. Now is down to 14.
Yep,
Their turn.
14.
Go ahead then. I will let you go first.
Oh no, go ahead, because I'm gonna hold my action because he said
No,
to
okay.
wait.
Well, she finishes her chanting with the last cry is to it basically of her chant just says, please, Malathuk. And she flumps down unconscious forward. And you see a wisp of something, this weird looking grayish blue aura fly into the belly of the other Skundrus from the one that just fell unconscious. And then the other Skundrus goes into labor.
I'll look over at everyone there. Does anybody know anything that can help this woman?
I have some basic first aid training. I am proficient in the medical arts, but have I helped anybody give birth on the battlefield before? Is this like helping peasants maybe afterwards? I don't know.
This is definitely not in my wheelhouse.
Yes, I don't think that anyone else has a better shot at this, honestly.
I'll sort of call over to the halfling. I know that, I do not know you, and I know that you have no reason to help this lady, but they made the right choice. Do you know anything? You are a woman. I know it is not the right thing to say, but
she
perhaps
comes
you've been
over.
through this yourself.
I have not, but yeah, maybe I can help. She just kind of walks over and puts her rolling pin back into her apron.
No, hang on, we might need that.
And
just roll it on the belly. Push it out.
Push it out.
I'd like to say, while everybody is distracted by the birth taking place, I'm going to start slowly looking around and seeing if there's anything that I could procure for later redistribution and selling.
Yeah, of course. Like right here, there's that mask that she was going to show off. And you could just, like lean over the table like you're trying to watch what's going on and grab that mask. It looks pretty ancient and a little abysmal or abyssal.
Ooh,
not abysmal.
Yep.
So yeah, you're pilfering the mask as she gives labor, and we'll shortcut this to that the child is born and it has a heartbeat and it is alive, and you can pretty much garner from the fact that these bodies of Malathuk need a spirit, that the other lady, the other cultist, so to speak, gave her own life for the child, and it's her spirit in there. Now, Valenry, that even when things go well, even when things go as planned in one of these rituals, sometimes memories are affected, the person's spirit is affected in some way, and you're not sure about this child. It's probably not going to be healthy mentally, because this was a very non-traditional birthing ceremony.
Yeah.
But it, at least physically, it looks healthy, and the Skundru's mother thanks Sigismund. Thank you for helping me. This, please, what now? What now?
Go to sleep, and I'll cast sleep. We'll talk about it later. We need some time to talk. Good night.
All right. She goes night, and Cookie is holding the child. What do you guys do now?
That was Not what I expected. I
Sorry.
apologize for involving you in internal affairs.
Actually, this is perfect because we can blame the um, the incident and the missing items on crazed cultists.
Why don't you stop
I-
stealing all of Thonia's stuff?
And
We
when
came
did
here
you stop
for one
making
thing,
quote
not
marks?
180.
I am not going to lie, the thought had occurred to me.
Issa
No.
looks at Sigmund as if he has said something utterly strange, alien, and foreign to him.
This is my friend's place. You leave everything but the thing we are here for.
He
Yes,
just
what
stares
Sigmund
at him
said.
blankly.
All right, so I guess you make your way over to where the Fusil core is.
Yeah.
You it's basically sitting underneath a kind of bowl of glass looking thing. You pick up the bowl of glass, and then yes, there's this broken Fusil that you had this weird feeling about.
Mhm.
And Valenry, as you reach and to kind of get the pistol, you feel the handle of it, and it feels right. It feels true to you. And then you go unconscious. We will talk about that in just a second. So he grabs the Fusil from the thing and then falls unconscious and begins to shake.
Oh shit! I'm learning a lot of new medicine today. I'll do my best to tend to him. We need to get out of here, if at all possible. Please.
Oh my, this is not how we do business.
Yes, but was this caused by mere science or something magical? Can I do an Arcana check on him?
Yes.
Well, that is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. So what you know about what's going on with him, it is not magical. Matter of fact, but in your Arcana check, you realize that the thing he is holding, in some magical way, basically, you know that this thing, this Fusil, this ancient Fusil, is attuned to him, even though he has never actually held it. That's what you know right now, is that this Fusil is actually this, hammer of light is attuned to him somehow, even though he says he's never actually held it.
Well, that is quite odd to see right here. His aura matches this one from this Fusil core, even though he says he's never used it or come in contact.
So I have an idea out of game, but I don't know how good Sigismund would be at connecting dots. Sorry, I'm being attacked by a small puppy too. Perhaps it is best that we get everyone home, get back to the building, and put all the clues together so that we aren't caught because of all of the shooting and screaming and baby having that went on in the museum.
Okay, so you grab Valenry, and you grab the, he's kind of got a good grip on this Fusil. You can't get it, like, he's not dropping it, and he's kind of shaking. And then you make your way through the streets of Darkenhaven from the God's Ward all the way to Beugerton, with this guy, and people are giving you glances, and he's kind of just shaking. and Etza is like falling way back, just like shadowing you guys because he doesn't want to be near you as you carry him. Cookie also follows you back to the condemned home, which I can get us back there. Activate. And so Cookie is there, Etza is there, and you basically get him back, lay him on the couch, and then he wakes up. But we're going to pause there because I want to go back and explain to Valenry what he experienced over this last 20 minutes. So you grab the Fusil core, you fall unconscious, you enter this dreamlike state, and you're holding this Fusil, and you're running through a cavern. And as you're running through the cavern, you're holding someone's hand, and you're shooting this Fusil that basically throws these runic hammers of light from it. And you look at your hands, and they're smaller. And as you're running, you realize you're not running very fast. And you look down, and your legs are smaller. And then you look as to the person's hand you're holding as you're turning and shooting down the cavern, and there are some arachnoids chasing you through the cavern. And you see Thonia, but she's much, much younger. And then you realize that she's your height and your build, and you realize this must be my past. This must be a previous life, where we lost him for a second. Oh no, so you realize that Thonia, and you start to have memories of that life where you fled the arachnoids and you found yourself in the tunnels of the Underdelve, and then you came out in a train tunnel that led to Darkenhaven. And then you remember, you flash forward a little bit. She's tinkering with stuff, and she's trying to fix your Fusil, and there's something wrong with it. And there's a little shop in Darkenhaven, and she asked you to get something, and then you went down into the Gloomport to find these things that she needed, these different tools and spell components and things that a artificer might need. But you were waylaid and put aboard a ship, and from there you realize you were taken to Chardengloom. You were used in a ritual much like you saw tonight, and against your will put into the first of your Skundru's bodies, and you've probably had a few since then.
Yeah.
And that must have been 150 years ago, you think. And then you come to, and you're on a couch, and everyone is around.
What happened to where this place?
Rest easy. You passed out, and we're having some sort of fit. We weren't exactly sure what was going on, so we just brought you home. But all is well. Everyone is safe. Are you feeling okay?
The rebirth ceremonies, they play havoc with memories. And the returning of those memories is not always pleasant.
Oh, you had memories of return?
I did. I remember this weapon. I remember, I suspect, my mother trying to fix it.
I see.
What do you know of Thonia's past?
I'm going to say that you probably don't think she's your mother.
Okay, cool. Ignore them a bit.
Yeah.
Let me help fill in some of those pieces, Corey. I know that there are things that she won't speak of when we talk. I know that she lost someone very dear to her long ago. The way that she speaks of it makes me think that perhaps it was her lover or her husband, but I'm not sure of that. But she has been here in the city for quite a long time, longer than I have, and I'm not a spring chicken myself. But I know that there's a deep wound in her that does not seem to want to heal, and I know that because I have those as well. So really, other than that, I just generally make pleasantries with her and try to offer her some company because she seems to be very lonely. But that's really all I know.
She came from the Gloomport to Darkenhaven, did she not?
Yes, I think she's mentioned some places in the Gloomport.
Before that, from the Underdelve, perhaps?
I do notice a bit of that accent when she speaks. That yes, that would track. Why?
We need to speak to her. I do not think we should speak to her at the gallery, however.
Do I know where?
Yep.
I know where she lives?
Yeah, well, she has a artificer shop actually 2 doors down from Gideon's Grendel's pawn shop.
Oh yes, I knew that. Yes. What time of the evening? It's a bit late, but if you think it's that important, we could go now. She's right down the street.
I think it would be.
Okay.
I think she can help a lot.
Okay. In seven
All right.
order, are you coming? Yes.
I am coming. I wish to see what exactly is going on here because you made mention of the ritual that has things of your memory, but it didn't seem to affect you until you touched this Fusil core. And from what I can see, your essence is in sync with the aura of this core.
I do not understand it fully myself, but I can sense it. It is strange. Normally I would need to meditate on fusils before being able to utilize them, but I feel that if it were in one piece, it would work for me.
Interesting.
You mentioned you had some interest in the Skundrews. Did we bring that Skundrews lady and her child with us?
No, you left them there to, I assume you woke her up before you left so that she could care for her child. But my thought was that you left them there to figure themselves out.
Yeah.
And also, like to point her somewhere to help. But
did she seem to have any money on her at all, Corey?
No, but she had a wand of sleep with 3 charges left on it.
No. What I meant is I'm going to leave a few gold.
Okay.
Just a couple 3 gold to help them like find lodging or some food or something, stuff that the newborn might need.
Yeah, but she did have a wand of sleep with 3 charges left on it. If you wanted to take that so that they didn't waylay other people in.
Sure.
I would immediately take that because I was a victim of that damn
mind. That seems fair.
All right, so you guys head to Giddings Way to meet with Thonia. And it is late, but she is still up tinkering with stuff, and she comes to the door and Oh, it's just nice to see you again for the second time today. Why are you here? And who are all of these people?
Well, these are my friends, but very specifically, uh, my friend here would like to speak with you. He seems to know about your past, and I thought maybe that you two should speak.
I'm somewhat reluctant, almost. It's sort of I know that I need to speak to her and the things that I need to speak of, but there's almost a reluctance that you sort of sense in me to do so.
Mhm.
And perhaps this would be easier if your mind was partly occupied with your work, and sort of seeing the stage that she's at with something, and with the
Mhm.
memories that I have, I'll just pick up the tool that she needs and pass it to her.
She says, "Thank you," and she starts tinkering with what looks like a hand, a full-size hand. And what you notice over in the corner here are the two broken Inzandra'as that are basically big metal people that are no longer they are no longer working. And in those who know anything about the Inzandra'as, they need this is Etherium fluid, which is very rare to keep them moving. And these two have no Etherium in them. So they are basically dead. But she is trying to tinker around and see if she can figure out a way to at least make their parts work, even though their spirit, their soul is probably parted by now. But she's tinkering with the hand and trying to make it work.
I spoke to you yesterday at the gallery. You may not recall it.
I did not see you at the gallery, and I think I would have remembered someone like you.
For the purposes that we were there, I needed you to forget. Had I known what I know now, perhaps I would have taken a different course of action. Heart of my stone. And that will be a phrase that I've remembered from the vision.
Where did you hear that? What?
Many times.
And then she notices that you're kind of holding the hammer of light. Where did you steal that from the museum? And then
I did.
Why?
It was necessary. My memories have not come back to me the same way they sometimes do to our kind. We worked on this together to try and fix this.
Well, once we worked, and it like slowly understanding starts to spread across her face.
There is no easy way to talk about this.
Monduin? Monduin, is it you?
It is not a name I recall, but I know you, Thunia. I know.
And as you're nervously doing something with your hands, like on the pistol or on the fusil, and she goes, it is. And she puts her hand on your hand, and that calmness, her ability to calm you, washes through you like as if you had never been apart. And you're kind of flooded with these memories to the point where you stagger a bit, of memories of you and her working on things together. And so she says, she takes the Fusil from your hand and she puts it on the counter, and she has you come sit in the chair next to her.
Thank you.
And you guys begin to just kind of talk. And as she talks, as she tells you, tries to help you with your memories, you get these memories back, and you are able to have conversations like as if you've never been parted.
Yeah.
And then after about 10-15 minutes, she says, so what do we do now?
I confess I do not know.
Give me a D20 roll, please.
Certainly. That'll be a 12.
Okay. Go ahead, Valenry. What do we do now?
I confess I do not know. I think perhaps the first step is to enlighten our comrades here. Without them, I would not have found what I was looking for, nor would I have found what I didn't know I was looking for. Sigismund and Savinor, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I came here looking for this as a weapon that was powerful, that I had some memory of. I did not know I would find my wife.
As you say that, as you're talking, you motion to the table, you motion to the two of them, and then you finish that sentence and you realize Etza is gone, and the pistol that was on the table is also gone.
Wait, where did the...
Yes.
Where is it?
Perhaps it is making a disappearance, but I believe that maybe it served its purpose for you. It's brought you something much greater than a mere weapon. And maybe you don't need weapons anymore. Maybe your soul has finally found that peace and stillness and just being with the person that you love.
What
Yes?
do I remember of the weapon?
What's that?
What do I remember of the weapon? Sort of power level of how dangerous it would be.
The sanguine touch is a very powerful core, and you remember that the light's hammer couldn't hold it. Basically, like if you could, it didn't just break because it got smashed with a claymore or something.
Because of the power it was holding.
The power it was holding ended up breaking it, and you guys were trying to make a new casing, a new weapon. And you think that, should the sanguine touch, that Fusil core, that flowstone, be put into the wrong hands, into something else that could harness its true power, it could be very dangerous.
Perhaps, but there is more at stake here.
Well, I tell you
the reason my weapon broke, the hammer of light, it could not contain the power of that core.
I see. I tell you what, Insinor, back me up on this. Maybe you worry about what you've got going on here, and Insinor and I and some of our associates can deal with this sanguine touch.
Yes, the first thing we'll do is kill Etza, because I told you a long time ago this was going to happen.
Look, Etza has to take care of Etza, right? He did not have a spreadsheet.
A larger pain in our ass. My spreadsheet can't amount to the pain that Etza's will cause because he has his Fusil core.
Well, then we will simply go and get it.
You guys hear a laugh.
I am afraid that I cannot ask you to do that, knowing that I am the reason we are in this situation.
Don't worry
Sonia,
about it.
we have much to talk about and much to decide for the future, but you know the power of this. You know how dangerous it could be.
Yes,
I need
we
to.
do have much to discuss, but it looks like it has been a long day for all of you.
Indeed.
Quite a long
Indeed.
day.
Let us let us return to your condemned building, and perhaps we will talk more. And she locks up her shop. She walks with you back to the condemned building. You come in, and the smell of like venison cooked pie is like this yummy, and you walk in, and Cookie is like, oh, I'm glad you came back. I have some very nice stuff that I made myself at home in your kitchen, and here, and she's like starts dishing up like different meals for everyone except Etza, and Etza's we'll flash over to Grindel's pawn shop as you walk in. Etza,
Yep.
You start grabbing stuff and throwing it into your bags. Grindel is like, "What are you doing? What? Hey, what's going on?"
I am going to need to take a sabbatical for a foreseeable time. I will correspond with you later on details of the shop and business and whatever. But take care. It'll be fine. Everything's good. Yes, yes.
Oh, very, very well. And he just kind of hands you a coin purse and says, "That's your cut for now. And when you return, we'll talk again."
Most excellent. If by chance you see those two individuals, or three individuals I was with earlier today, let them know that I enjoyed the company. The endeavor we engaged in was most excellent, and toodaloo. Yes.
All right. So Etza heads off to places unknown with a powerful Fusil core. The rest of you spend some time in the condemned building eating dinner, and that is where we will wrap up episode 5 of Plots in Darkenhaven.
Hooray!
All right.
Excellent. Awesome.
Thank you very
Alright.
much.